show. Joining me now is CPA and market analyst Dan Geltrude. Dan, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Kenny and I were talking earlier about this rally in stocks, despite this war in Iran, despite the spike in oil prices. How do you see things?
Well, I see it as the U.S. economy is a heck of a lot stronger and more resilient than some people want to lead us to believe. Look, the bottom line here is that we have U.S. companies producing more profits than ever. This is a great sign. It also means that consumers are spending. Now, where they're getting that money from? Well, we have to look a little deeper into that, right?
Mm-hmm. What do you mean, where they're getting?
Well, in terms of are they financing all of this spending through credit cards? Because we do see that personal debt is continuing to rise. So that's a little bit troubling. But either way, people are not going to spend, Maria, unless they feel confident in this economy, and they're doing that.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday we got the CPI number, Kenny, and it was a little hotter than expected. Today we're getting the PPI, the Producer Price Index, out at 8:30. Expectations call for an increase of 0.5% month to month, and an increase of 4.9% year over year. The CPI hotter than expected, up 3.8% year over year. Your reaction?
I think that we're going to see the same thing in the PPI. I think it's going to be hotter than the already hot expectation, and that's going to be another damper, right? Because that's going to just feed into next month's CPI, because where it starts at the PPI, it gets down to, it flows its way down to the CPI. And so that's going to continue to be a problem as long as this Iran conflict goes on, oil prices remain above $100 a barrel, it's eventually going to be a problem, and that's what concerns me.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a game of expectations, right? Is it already expected that we're going to see a bit? No secret that we've seen oil prices move higher, right?
Correct. But how long are those? We expected it, but we also expected that maybe this war was going to be over by now and it was going to start to come down. That's not the case at the moment, and that's going to be the part that, throws a monkey wrench.
Are you seeing inflation out there?
Oh, absolutely. I think there is a lot of pressure here. I think it all goes to what's happening in Iran. And in spite of the fact that the president is saying we don't need China, China can't hurt if they do get involved and exert some pressure on Iran to get these oil prices down.
Yeah,
right. They have to do that, though. They have to exert pressure on Iran to come to the table and negotiate.
Absolutely.
Yields this morning pulling back. The Senate, of course, taking another step to advance Kevin Warsh's nomination as chairman of the Federal Reserve. The yield on the 10-year now at 4.46%. Yesterday, the Senate voting in favor of putting him on the central bank board of governors. The rules are that the Fed chairman needs to be on the board before he or she can be confirmed as chairman. So a full Senate vote is happening later today, and that will finalize and confirm Warsh's new position as the next chairman of the Federal Reserve. Jay Powell's term is expiring this Friday. Even as he's indicating he's going to stay on the board, Dan, what does a Kevin Warsh Fed mean to markets and the economy in your view?
Well, as we are right now, I'm not so sure there's much he can do because of the pressure of inflation. He is not going to be as, let's say, conservative as Jay Powell was, because he has said he does want to get those interest rates down. However, the pressure of inflation makes it super difficult for him to be able to do this. So again, we go back to the conflict in Iran and inflation and ultimately interest rates. We got to clean that up.
Now, you've been dealing with lots of people who are leaving and moving to Florida in your regular job as CPA. Tell us what you're seeing.
Well, what I see is that people simply are not going to tolerate the punishing taxes in the Northeast, this New York metropolitan area. So where are they going? Florida. Why? Lower taxes. You don't have the restrictions. You could actually have a business-friendly environment to be able to succeed.
You did it. You left.
Yeah, I did it. Well, I did it partly because my job at the New York Stock Exchange got completely eliminated because of technology. But I pivoted, moved to Florida on that pivot, and then just joined the wealth management side of the business, taking all that experience.
So what are some smart investment strategies that viewers should be considering to best position their portfolios right now, whether it be what they're doing in terms of moving or what they're doing in terms of allocating capital right now? What do you think?
Well, you know what I think, Maria? Everybody is chasing AI right now, and I get it, and AI is the future. However, I think if you take a look at who's getting paid to power AI, that's the future. We already know we have a shortage of energy with all the needs that AI has. So I'm looking at companies like, let's say, Constellation Energy or Cameco. And the reason those are attractive to me is because they have some nuclear assets rockets. And unless Elon Musk gets some things built in space soon, we may have no choice but to start relying on nuclear to be able to keep AI revved up.
A lot of nuclear companies going public. This is a big burgeoning sector, and the president has supported nuclear.
And then I think it's right. I think we're going to have to start looking at it. And then you look at the individual nuclear reactors that they're talking about, right? They'll power it. So NuScale's a name that's very interesting, right? It had a great move. It pulled back, but I think it's right at that level now that looks interesting again.
All right, Dan, great to have you this morning. Thanks so much.
Maria.
Dan Geltrude.